it was Sutton, to whom she had always been, up until that very moment, a very good friend. And Sutton's surprise of the season is how much fun she had with Erika, who just a few scenes ago had said Garcelle's boring and shouldn't be on the show. You saw the look. It clicked for her.
That is actually the perfect example of Sutton hitting a woman when she's down. Garcelle, she is having a hard time on this reunion. And then you, Sutton, when it's your surprise, you go to the woman who has told you that you hit women when they're down. You needed on camera on that set to support your friend, and you didn't. In fact, you went to her enemy. We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Hey.
Happy PCP Thursday, everybody.
That's right. It's the end. It's the end of a season. This is when I crawl back under the little cave. I crawl back under the rock
from which you came from.
Yeah, in Kathy's backyard that she doesn't know I live under. This is the final episode.
clutching your little framed picture of yourself inserted into the Hilton family, being like, my precious, I will get into their house eventually.
Yeah, this is part 3 of the Beverly Hills season 14 reunion.
And the conclusion. Yep. The dramatic conclusion. I don't know. Like they made this episode an hour and 15 minutes. I'm like, it could have been 45.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few things we've rehashed over and over, but then there were some interesting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Dive right into it. I mean,
let's do it.
Ooh. And before you dive right into it, make sure, don't just dive, subscribe.
Subscribe. I mean, we've hit over 1,000. We're now like at 1,020, and I'm so excited. So, but let's keep that ball rolling.
Yes. Living. So, yeah, I mean, so it opens with a continuation part 2. It's Dorit versus Sutton, the alcohol comments, etc.
Yeah, and I mean, and Dorit is just like, and the buying people. And then I love it when somebody was like, well, who'd she buy? And Dorit can't tell, won't say anything. And I'm like, well, because she hasn't technically bought anybody. And I was like, look, this is America. Like, it's literally a country built buying people.
She did elaborate in the after show what she meant by that. And it was who we thought. That Garcelle didn't like her when they first came on the show. So Sutton bought a $25,000 table. That's what I'm not saying that Sutton bought her. What I'm saying is that's what I knew. Everyone was silent, but slightly smirking. They all knew. No one just like,
Well, the problem is, though, is that Dorit doesn't have any money to buy anybody. So,
right. No, there's jealousy in that.
Let's just get that through there.
But the way no one would say it in that like Fox Force where they all looked at each other, I was like, she uses her money to. What I was told before she came on the show, I'll just say it. Brandy Glanville told me. I was like, who's this Sutton? Who's I had never heard of her in this town, not to sound like Kyle, but I was like, who is she? But I hear she's really rich. She's like, oh, like it was that whole, I told you guys with the Lisa Rinna thing over who bought the table at Elton John's. She was like, she's nice, really rich, and she buys tables and invites people so that they'll be her friend and she can get in the circle. That's all, which is common in places like LA and New York, but
yeah, it's also common in the South, like with really rich people. Like that's what rich people do. Like I'm like that's it. People are like, why don't you join a sorority? It's like, because I don't buy friends. We all buy friends, honey.
Yeah.
Like if you join a sorority or fraternity, you join a gym. Like you become friends with your people at your gym. Like we all buy friends. It's just, is it a transactional friendship or not? You know what I mean?
That's where it hits with Sutton, I think, which we'll find out towards the end of the episode. Is it
Well,
Yeah.
again, because she also still wants to be one of the popular girls, and she's upset
Yeah.
about that, which we've talked about ad nauseum. Dorit also did double down on the drinking stuff, even
Mhm.
though she still was wrong about, like, and even Bose called her out and was like, "Yeah, she did. That was a pointed comment with the whole, oh, it's okay for Garcelle to say something about alcohol, but it's not okay for me." It's like, what? What are you talking about?
Garcelle in that moment was literally asking just so ordering if she knew it was a cocktail or a beverage, a refreshing beverage.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw that was not Garcelle was literally asking like, "Oh, like, does it come with alcohol? Like, so should I know?" Dorit
Yeah.
was like, "Hmm,
Yeah. Is this a virgin drink or is it a spiked drink?
yeah,
I just wanna know from my own opinion. Like, ugh, anyhow. Ugh.
yeah." One where they came back to Sutton again was kicking the other women when they're down or at their
Mhm.
lowest, and Jennifer Tilly has not been the best defender
No.
of her best friend Sutton, because she piped
Mhm.
in and said, she does ask a lot of pointed questions in a way
Mhm.
that, like, isn't always
Mhm.
nice.
I was watching this episode live last night. I got to see it live with
Mm,
over at my friend Jessica's house, so shout out to Jessica. And we were having a discussion, like, we would pause it and we would discuss a bunch. And she brought up a really interesting thought that I figured I would share here. I'm giving her credit, is that she was wondering if that, like, things having to do kind of like with Reeba, which comes up later. But, it's interesting because Sutton does offer a lot of, like, generosity to these women, like to Erika and to Dorit off the front. But then later on, she does kind of do exactly what Erika says and does kind of hit them when they're down. I don't
mhm,
see that as much. I do see some validity to that, but I also think depends on where you are in that relationship. But she was saying it's almost like, oh, these women, I'm offering them some help, and then they start to get so much other help offered to them by everybody else, that then Sutton kind of gets jealous, that of, like,
mm.
two things of, like, well, I've been in bad places and people haven't offered me that, so I should, like, why are they getting so much help, why. And also, my thought was that she's the one who's first offering help when nobody else is, and then all of a sudden other people start offering help, and that person starts accepting help from other people as opposed to her, and she gets offended as to, like, why aren't you off taking my help that I'm offering? So again, it's that wound of, like, not feeling popular and not being wanted.
And also kind of trying to buy them, and she's trying to win them. She offered her help, like, remember when Erica everything first went down, and she was like, if you need a loan to get through your tough times, and she used that against her later. But
Mhm.
no, it's not buying, like, writing them a check, be my friend, but I think her generosity comes with strings attached. She wants to feel needed and feel
Mhm.
accepted, and that's her token. She can look, she supports her mother. She
Mhm.
houses her mother, who is not the warmest. It's her way of
Mhm.
drawing people to her.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's it was an interesting thing. I was like, "Oh, I didn't think about it that way." That she
Mhm.
feels almost, like, rejected, like her help is being rejected by
That's
people.
where I'm getting at when I was saying
Yeah.
it wasn't about the money. It's an emotional
Mhm.
generosity that,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah,
That
it's
she
never
feels is being
enough.
rejected by these women that she
Yeah.
so desperately wants to be friends with.
Yeah.
And they're not accepting it. They will, in a lot of ways, they would take your money, Sutton, but they won't take you. When are you going to realize that?
Dorit, remember when Dorit was like, "Give me a Kelly and I'll be your friend?" Like, I
Exactly.
that as it was another loaded remark. She literally kinda meant
Mhm,
it, like, "Toss a
mhm.
Kelly my way, maybe I'll stop."
Well, Dorit, now you could probably afford your own Kelly because we all know that they come from China now. Like the amount of money. I do wonder about Jennifer Tilly's bespoke custom Louis Vuitton boat bag. Now, was that made in China for Louis
Oh,
Vuitton or was that custom made in Europe? I don't
you
know.
know they have like a factory even out here in like where Raging Waters is, San
Oh,
Dimas.
San Dimas?
They do. They're not made in France, or not all. Maybe I imagine maybe the bespoke stuff, but the totes you see, like you got at Neiman's in the mall or whatever, they're not. They're not,
No.
but they used
That's
to
why,
be.
no, that's why I don't own any. That's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, anyway. I mean, I do think that Erika though is a hypocrite, but like I said last week, I was like, we're all hypocrites and they are all hypocrites. And that's what
Mhm.
another reason why we watch this show. So we should all get down off of our ivory towers.
Yeah, I the show's it's the hypocrisy that makes the show. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
good people aren't attracted to this show. Let's just put it that way. If
Look,
so this show has been on long enough, if you watch it and are familiar and say, I should be on, I see myself in it, not a great
look,
sign.
they did a show. I mean, not Bravo, but they've done shows about the Amish, but not about the Amish lifestyle, about that gap year, about leaving the Amish, about going
Mhm.
crazy as the Amish. So obviously, we don't want to see very nice people on our television.
Yeah.
No, because we're all evil humans. Like,
But by the way, with this whole Dorit thing, and then they like kind of transition to where they asked the group, it was really quick. Who will be the first in this group of estranged, semi-single, or divorced to remarry? I was thinking about this last night because everyone said Kyle. And I
mhm.
was like, no, I had deep thoughts about this last night after watching. It's going to be Dorit.
Yeah, ditto.
Dorit's a survivor. And what
Mhm.
she will do will get a
She
season
needs
of
the money.
right. And what we'll get is my thinking is a season of her in her divorcee townhouse, condo, apartment, whatever the quick downsize rental, and she will be. I'm basically giving her a Lori Peterson story arc. She Dorit will marry a rich man again
Mhm.
quickly, and
Mhm.
we will see her run off to Calabasas or Brentwood, whatever wealthy suburb she lands. Dorit's a survivor. Her next
Yeah.
husband's out there in a season or two.
I agree. Well, the rumors are that she already has a rich boyfriend. So,
Mhm. She's not gonna. I was like, I'm not so worried about her, not because of her money from PK, but she'll find another
mhm.
better, hopefully.
Better, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully. And um, I do like when Garcelle was upset. Didn't realize this was kind of so earlier on in the episode. Garcelle was upset and Andy was like, "Why are you upset?" She's like, I'm mad at everything." I was like, "That's like super real." Like, do you know what I mean? Because like a lot of housewives would either say, "I'm not upset," and then just sit
Mhm.
there and stew. And like, that's the thing is that like Garcelle will just always say it. Like, she'll
Mhm.
say the thing, like, she was stewing over there. She was pissed off and you could tell. But like, and then when somebody asked her, she was like, "Yeah, I'm upset." And she's like, "I'm not upset about Sutton. I'm upset about me. Like, I'm upset
Mhm.
about everything that's going on here." But then the interesting thing is, and then she's like, "I don't want to answer any more questions." And my realization was, oh, you know what though? If this had been Kyle or Dorit or Erika, they would have asked more questions. They've been like,
Mhm.
"No, come on, tell us." Or there would have been other people from the cast been like, "No, like what's going on?" Da da da. Nobody did that for Garcelle. Not even
Yeah.
Sutton sitting next to her. Like, "Are you okay? Like, what's like really?" Like nobody said
Sutton
anything to
didn't even
Garcelle.
like like lean over to whisper, like, I know it'll be okay. Like, there
Yeah.
was no.
Sutton was only concerned with herself that entire
Yeah.
reunion. That entire
Yeah.
reunion. Also, like because there was a bit of like, Erika got her own time to like talk about herself and like how much she's grown or whatever bullshit that was. And Garcelle was not buying it. Like you could tell by the look on her face. She was just rolling. She was like, I am not going to act right now. I'm going to let you see how much I don't believe you.
Garcelle was like on the verge of yelling out widows and orphans.
Yep. Yep. Ugh.
What was it? What was interesting with the Erika thing? I mean, nothing has changed. She doesn't answer many questions. Just that
No.
she's not going to. She basically says she's not going to divorce him. She's waiting for him to die, and then she'll go visit his body or whatever.
Yeah. Which
Is-
there's I vacillate in between going like that's pretty cold, but then also going, well, if you also had to deal with anybody, if he truly does have dementia,
Yeah.
that's very hard to like see people. Like my grandmother died of dementia, like, or complications from dementia. It's really hard to see somebody go down like that. And also if you've got complicated feelings about somebody. But what I did not appreciate her doing is like, oh, he's already been convicted. Like we're never going to hear. She's got a lot of opinions and feelings, emotions about her cast members, and she's willing to put that on them. But she's not willing and to share her thoughts on that, but she's not willing to share her thoughts on her ex-husband. And legally, she can do that right now. That's what it
Yeah.
appears to be. That by the time this reunion was being filmed, she could legally speak about how she felt about him. Now, granted, it is her opinion, it is her option, but as everybody says, like, you're a public figure, you're on a reality television show. Everybody wants to know how you feel about your husband. And this is my thing, is that the more she keeps her mouth shutters, like, the court has spoken, like, let's just let the court speak. That makes me go, you knew way too much. Like I gave you so much leeway early on thinking that he hid so much from you. And now I've in the last couple of years, have really begun to believe that you knew a lot more, Erika. So absolutely effing not.
Yeah. I've always wondered if it was like, we'll never know. I
No.
was like, if it was just decided he's old enough, he'll take the hit. And so, you know what I mean? Because there's still to this day online rumors that she has a safe deposit boxes, that there's money and cash hidden. Um,
Well, she's
I
getting
know,
sued by his estate, that
right?
for embezzlement and, or not embezzle. Anyway, getting sued by his estate. So
Mhm.
this is anyway, she's getting sued by
Yeah,
Marco.
truly is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. She wasn't lying when
And
she came up.
debt. No cash, just debt.
An enigma wrapped in a riddle and trash.
Mhm.
No,
Nope.
God. Yeah.
The the Reeba Sutton package did make me cry a bit. I was like, I'm
Mm,
getting teary watching this, like, because just watching that all together, and their Garcelle is for Sutton. And even Kyle was being there for Sutton in that moment while she was watching that back.
mhm,
And Kathy cried. Like, I was like, well, that was nice. But,
mhm.
you know, Dorit and Bose and Erika were just like,
Yeah.
nope. Like, mm-mm. You know, and I don't know.
Something in the Reba thing that caught I I think people get it wrong, and this is just my like when Andy read the tweet where someone said, "Of course Kyle got along with Reba. It reminds her of Big Kathy." And I
Mm-hmm.
think they got that wrong because if you look at the confidence Kathy and Kyle have, I know both families had complicated mothers and complicated upbringings, but I think you can just tell Big Kathy raised her daughters that they are the best, that the world is waiting for them. You know, look at how they walk into a room. And with
Mm-hmm.
Sutton, I do not think Sutton was kind. I'm sorry, I do not think Reba was kind to Sutton. I don't think she built her up.
No.
And so I was like, in that respect, they're not interchangeable. I don't know personally. I just think Big Kathy boosted her daughters, and
Well, I mean, it sounds
Raise
to
them to
me
shine.
yeah, it sounds to me that maybe, like, that Reeba was a ball buster at the home and a sweetheart outside of it,
Mhm.
whereas Big Kathy was a ball buster outside of the home and a sweetheart inside of it, in that
Yeah,
sense.
like, she was
Like
there to protect her family. It was
yes.
them as a family, and they were
Mhm.
gonna yeah, where I think yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think Reba was so supportive. That's just my
Yeah.
guess. Because even Kathy chimed in and said, "No, our mother was cuddlier." I do
Mhm.
that yeah. Because
Yeah,
we're
and that's a
sitting
quite
here
a just descriptive word, cuddly, like
yeah, that word caught me off guard. I was like, "Oh, interesting."
mhm. Yeah. I did think it was when they brought up Teddi, um, which I think we've all had, like, our own opinions about Teddi as a housewife, and even for a few years outside of, like, being a housewife, but definitely what she's going through is very sad right now.
Mhm,
But I found it very interesting that it seemed like everybody there, except for Dorit, had done something for Teddi.
mhm,
And the look that Kyle was giving Dorit, when Dorit was saying, "No, I haven't. And she's like stumbling over her words and like, I'll just do something later when it's more appropriate. And Kyle's just like shaking
mhm,
her head and like almost crying and is like, she might die. Like, and you will not have reached out to her.
mhm.
Like, and she's one of the Fox Force 5. Like, are you
Yeah.
fucking serious? And that's what's like, I was like, that's who fucking Dorit is. Look, I have enjoyed Dorit this season. She's been quite different, but this reunion has yet reminded me of old Dorit and why I did not like her. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? Like, and that right there was a big symbol. I was like, no, because you're all about fucking you.
Yeah, yeah, she wasn't even sure. She was like, "I think I've done something on Instagram," but, I think she left a comment, a heart or something, after everyone was keeping tr you remember Teddy had that on 2 Ts? She was, like,
Yeah.
updating people on who'd reached out. Who had yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was just like, nope. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. There was there was
another
too much about Kyle and Mauricio. I don't think we need to talk about that because we talked
nothing
about that
new.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have gone into, like it was almost like she had listened to all and just, like,
Mhm.
summarized it.
The only thing I appreciated was Andy calling her out for saying, "Yo, I can't believe you were being trying to be so obtuse to Sutton and Garcelle when Sutton brought up Mo's infidelity this season, when you had actually brought it up at the reunion or in
Mhm.
like hinted at it, more than really hinted at it, the reunion last year. Like what are you doing there?" Like I appreciated that. And Garcelle was like, "Yep."
There were times when she pouted, a lot of times when she pouted, and then there were certain times when she half smiled. She smirked a little, like, she was like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
get to it."
I don't think her crystals were helping her like much. Like she kept dropping. Every time she dropped a crystal, they would go in on Dorit's face going, "Oh my goodness, dude."
Mm,
Man. And also, I will say this though too, real quick, about the whole Mo thing and the encapsulation. Again, going back to Kyle not really being a girl's girl, when she was talking about like she was like, it's not the fame, it's not the show that broke us up, which I don't believe the show broke them up whatsoever. But then
no.
she's like, but these women and women can be snakes and I was like, fuck you. Like that's like such bullshit. I was like, can women like slide into the DMs and do they all the time? Abso-freaking-lutely. But he's the married man. He's the
Mhm.
adult in the room right here. He's the one who says no or like puts his DMs on lock. Like that's the thing. Like stop it. Stop
She
blaming all the women. He's not a weak ass man.
yeah. No, no, she absolutely tried just I mean, she and then kept saying, like, I'm not on here to speak ill of the children father of my children." But she didn't have to say that women are snakes comment. She could just
Right.
say it's just not an issue. He does what he does, or he did what he did.
Yeah. Because I don't like because look, because in my opinion, like I really hate it when people use children as a crutch to like get away off of bad behavior, or to not have to talk about bad behavior. It's like, oh, he's the father of my children, or just like Jax Taylor, I'm a father. Like, no, like just because you have a kid doesn't mean you can't be like a dickhead, or just like,
Yeah.
if you don't want your children finding out about doing shitty things, then don't do shitty things.
Yeah, especially on national TV.
Yeah. Oh, good God. You know, Kyle makes people lie for her too. It's just as ridiculous the way that she acts. I was like, I can't watch this anymore. Everybody being okay with Kyle lying.
It is.
Scared.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, I'm excited to get into. We have like one more little thing, and then we'll get into it was really the last minutes of the show where,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, that's when it clocked with me. Garcelle clocked them all and realized, but
Mm-hmm.
including Kyle. But wait, one sec, just one last thing from all that was the lesbian segment. Then it's
Mm-hmm.
to Kyle. The only thing we took from that is that the Hiltons are very cool with it. Kathy even chimed in. Even Rick was like, "It's 2020. It's 2025." But what the only thing we kind of got from that is Kyle finally admitted to questioning her sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
entertaining that she was a lesbian, but she stopped Andy when he said coming out.
Yeah.
But at least she
Well,
acknowledged there might be something sexual there.
she also, but this is also, I call shenanigans. Like, I'm glad that she at least went that far, but I
Mhm.
still call shenanigans, because she's like, I didn't even question it till after we filmed that music
Yeah.
video and after people start, excuse me? Absolutely freaking not. And again, this is 2025. I pretty much, and I've been a single woman for a very long time. And I'm attracted to men, but I don't find men attractive. So I'm questioning my sexuality all the time. Like, it does not take much in this day and age to question one's sexuality. Let's get real here. So if I filmed a music video where I am making out or almost making out with another woman, I might then do that. Let's also not forget, and I'm going to go back to Teddi. People were questioning that relationship with Teddi very hardcore for a couple of seasons. Dorit especially would question that relationship. Why are you such close friends with Teddi? Erika did too. This relationship's a little weird. How close you guys are. Like,
Mhm.
they could have had like little girl crushes on each other. That's totally fine. Not
Mhm.
realized it was something. And that's the thing. Morgan could have like a crush on Kyle, and Kyle could just be like, we're just friends. Like, that's really sweet. And I really like, I enjoy you and I totally get it. But like, I'm not attracted to you that way. And that would be something that would be easy to say though too online. Maybe Morgan doesn't want to have rejection be on national television, or maybe Kyle has a crush on her and Morgan doesn't like her that way. I don't know.
I
But
think
like,
Kyle definitely likes the attention from Morgan, whether it's reciprocated, she likes.
mhm.
She's kind of like Mauricio, you're not the only one with younger girls chasing after you. It's kind of flattering. I think she likes the flattery. I don't
Mhm.
know if she like actually has a crush on Morgan, but she likes Morgan having a crush on her.
Yeah.
If there is
Yeah.
one. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I just think there's just so many options with it, and I just go, ugh. Eh, I feel like Kyle has made it a bigger deal than it actually needed to be.
Mhm.
So, anyhow,
I never
anywho,
I always thought at this point when it all started rolling out, I thought we'd have an answer by now. Like I thought we'd
it
have a
feels like
People magazine cover of her hugging Morgan and being like
yeah, there was just like a lot of word salad, and it seemed like like a little bit of a soft launch of her, like maybe like teasing something.
she,
I don't know.
she did say she plans on dating soon. She did
Hmm.
say that in the Andy asked like have you seen anyone or like because of Mauricio moving on. She's like I plan on soon. So I thought maybe waiting for that Us Weekly cover. I always just feel like it will happen on a magazine. I don't know.
Well, and she also said that there were both men and women sliding in her DMs. So good
Yeah.
for her. Like, get it, girl. Like, we're not saying that you shouldn't be out there, but dude, just
Yeah.
anywho, and like, but anyway, there was something else, and this is a little, but I think it'll go into like what we're about to talk about next. Because I mean, honestly, we're basically getting to the end of the episode. Um, when I was with my friend Jessica last night, she was like, "I wonder what it would have been like if Crystal had been on this season." And I was like, yes, because of like if Crystal and Bose would have gotten along at all,
Mhm.
like because they also come from a similar background of like Crystal's husband is big in entertainment, like at Disney and everything like that. And
Mhm.
Bose has been, an exec in those worlds and all of that. Like, is there that? Also, then you would finally have three women of color on, or
Mhm.
like, or really four then, including Jennifer Tilly, but Jennifer Tilly's just a friend of. You'd have like three main housewives who are women of color on there. And like, would that have changed the dynamic at all? I don't know. Like, because it was like Sutton and Garcelle kind of on their own, with Sutton obviously trying to get in the
Yeah.
good graces with Fox Force 5.
I've thought about that with Garcelle, where she would land on this season, because it is true. She was more outspoken and held her ground at times. But in the end, this is where I go back and forth, is that she also is in the same position as has the same end game as Sutton, which is more society. It's more about Kathy's approval, the Bel Air approval. So I never could count on when Crystal and Sutton, when I never know where they'll side, because sometimes they stand their ground and go with what's right, or what, other times you see them, which we're about to get into, slide into what's popular and what will advance them socially. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Can I say one other thing that
Mhm.
is kind of a non sequitur, but still about the show? Um, when they were talking about Garcelle's roster of men that she had dated previously, and then uh, Andy asked Jennifer Tilly about her roster, and she was like, "Well, I wish I had a better one for an advance on my biography, but it's mostly just character actors and squishy comedians." And I was like, "Well, that sounds like my roster." So yeah, exactly. I was like, I understand Jennifer Tilly completely. Yeah, no.
She was good. She was good. Jennifer Tilly and Kathy kind of like occupied the same place, not just on the couches, but they're just like, Jennifer Tilly was just there for a casual comment, lighten
Mm-hmm.
the mood.
That's what they do with 66-year-olds on this show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're the same age.
And neither of them need the drama, neither of them need the cash. It's like they're
Mm-mm.
closest to the exit and they're gone if it gets messy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 All right, let's get
Cool.
to it. Let's just get to
So,
it.
yeah, so let's set the stage. Just kidding. You guys know we're going to talk about the wrap up of the episode, in which we learn Garcelle leaves. It's
Mm-hmm.
the and at that moment, what was it? Like the Denise Richards send off.
Mm-hmm.
Denise Garcelle stopped filming with the group.
You know what? I mean, it is interesting because Denise and Garcelle are friends. And
Mhm.
Garcelle's first year actually was Denise's last year, though, too. There was overlap with the two of
Was
them.
there?
Yes, there
I
was
thought
overlap.
I thought Garcelle came on after Denise left.
No, there was.
It was like Garcelle ended and I'm sorry, Denise ended and Garcelle started.
No, there was overlap there.
Mm.
But it's like, you know, so yeah. So I feel like, Garcelle came in thinking that she would have a lot more in common with these women, but like Denise ended up leaving. Renna, because Renna was an actress too. Like, here were two other actresses that she
Mhm.
would be coming on with, and or that she would be there with. And it's like, and then they're gone, and there's drama with Rinna. I'm not gonna lie, I miss Rinna at times, and that could be a
Mm,
controversial opinion, but I miss Rinna at times. I stand by it. The last year she was on, she should not have been on. She should have taken that year off to heal
mhm.
from the death of Lois. But I miss Rinna, and I say that from a place where she has us blocked on Instagram. So
She does.
if
I
anybody
wanna know
tells her that
what
we
we I wanna
don't
know
know what
what
we
we
did.
said, like, and not know so we can apologize and take it back. I just wanna know what did the trick. Every time a housewife blocks us, an angel gets its wings.
Yep.
Just wanna know what it was.
Yep. Yep. But I can see, anyway, go
Well,
ahead.
I was gonna say to set the stage for where this is where I started to realize and understand Garcelle with what was to come. It wasn't that the crew, to me, the other women didn't like her, disregarded her, ignored her. She wasn't there to be friends with them. Dorit, Kyle, that was established. They just were always like kind of on the opposite side of the couch. It was Sutton, to whom she had always been, up until that very moment, a very good friend. And Sutton was her anchor in that group. And
Mhm.
when they went around with the surprise of the season, and Garcelle talks about, liking Reeba so much. And Sutton's surprise of the season is how much fun she had with Erika, who just a few scenes ago had said Garcelle's boring and shouldn't be on the show.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
saw the look.
Mhm.
Garcelle, like, I can't replicate it, but the look on her face, it clicked for her. Like,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
they all I think she, sorry to ramble, but I think in that moment she looked around the room and was like, well, Fox Force got their wish and now Sutton, I've been iced out. I'm
Mhm.
done with them. No one here is my friend, just like she said.
It was sad. Like,
Hmm.
I got really sad, like, because I saw her clock it, and I think anybody who's ever not been popular or, like, who has ever been iced out of a group knows that feeling, like, felt that in their gut and was just like, "Ugh," because you just you know what? You know what? I just realized that is actually the perfect example of Sutton hitting a woman when she's down.
Yeah.
Because this is a woman who Garcelle's a woman who has shown you the most loyalty on this show and
Hmm.
has been there for you. And she is having a hard time on this reunion. She's been getting so much shit for absolutely nothing. For nothing. Like, the stuff that people are coming at her with is so minuscule, are not plot lines for the entire season, are
Hmm.
nothing. And, like, she's getting total crap for it. She apologizes for it, but they still go after her for it. And then you, Sutton, when it's your surprise, like, you can't say that how much, like, either your friendship has grown with Garcelle or anything, or like what a surprise it was to have Garcelle and Jennifer with you, or anything
Hmm.
related to that. But no, you go to the woman who has told you that you hit women when they're down and has come after. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that happened off screen or that was on left on the cutting room
Hmm.
floor with her and Erika that we didn't see, and that's totally fine. But you needed on camera on that set to support your friend in that moment, and you didn't. In fact, you went to her enemy.
And yeah, and exactly. In that moment, I was like, Garcelle didn't just realize she didn't have anyone. Her one friend, the ops stole her only friend.
There's one other thing I want to bring up, and it's something that I clocked, and but again has been expounded on more on Bravo TikTok, because it's not necessarily something that you and I can completely talk about because we're white people, you know what I mean? But I think it's something that we have to acknowledge that is there and say, like, Erika from Black Girls Who Brunch. She's great on TikTok. Please go follow her. But she sets it up pretty well. But one of the things that was said, it was, and several creators have said this, that the whole, when Bose was mad at Sutton for calling her an angry Black woman in the after show part, and Sutton didn't remember it, and then Bose then said, Garcelle, basically, you didn't clock it. Like, Garcelle was taken aback by that. And the creators that I am seeing on TikTok, they are saying, that's fine for Bose to be upset at Garcelle for that. However, they're saying the thing is that you don't do that on camera. You have a phone call. They're like, you call her up and you go, hey, sis, I just saw what happened there. Did you realize that was happening? Why didn't you realize it? Like, let's talk about this. And it seems like Bose is very willing to pick up the phone and have conversations off camera with other cast members and do that stuff. Just like Kyle is very willing to have conversations off camera with cast members about stuff that they're doing. So I think that's where a lot of content creators are saying that they believe that the not all skin folk or kinfolk might be coming from, is that like, that's a conversation. That's not what we would know, but that's what they know. Like that's not Garcelle knew that she was being purposefully thrown under the bus by Bose on camera with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does. Because like the way she looked around when Sutton said that, she realized. And I've seen, people have their theories that there was like some meeting called between, and all the women decided it's Garcelle who's going. I don't believe, but I do think obviously someone had to go. Someone had to go, and you never know who necessarily in the reunion. Because look, a few couple seasons ago, Lisa Rinna thought she was about to save the show, and she was never seen again. So you don't know necessarily, but in that moment, I think Garcelle realized it was me. Like almost like a mafia hit. You know what I mean? She looked around the table and was like, they're all...
Like, Sutton wouldn't even like turn around and like look at her half the time. I mean, granted, it can be tough to move around in those outfits and stuff like that. I get that, but no, like usually
she didn't show any concern for Garcelle. There was none.
Nothing.
And then so with that, they get up to clink, do their glasses, and did you catch their drinks? Did you catch Garcelle sandwiched between Jennifer Tilly and Sutton clinks Jennifer Tilly's glass. Sutton moves to clink hers, and Garcelle pulls her drink away and takes a sip.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah. And that was intentional. Their drinks were about to clink, like Sutton was going for it, and Garcelle just gave a look and drank hers. And then said, I'm done. I'm done. No cast photo. I'm out of here. I mean, look. I did.
Go ahead.
I was saying, and I did a little digging. I was trying to establish their patterns. And while Sutton still seems to be chasing Garcelle on Instagram, Garcelle has not reciprocated with likes and comments in like 6 or 8 weeks.
Well, that time's up, right?
Yeah. And Sutton is still on there. And oh my God, you should see the comments. She's getting a little too late. Like people are not buying it. But
Well, that's the thing. I will say this. That's the thing about a Sagittarius sun. You can push us, like, and we'll keep like allowing some stuff to happen, like, and we'll give you a lot of space, and we'll give you a lot of like grace and everything like that. But then once it hits that wall, it'll finally hit that one thing, and we'll go, done, out. And when you're out. So I totally get Garcelle. Like when I finally break up with somebody, oh, I'm done. Like your number is erased and blocked and nothing. Like, I will
Mhm.
never talk to you again. Like, you reach out to me? Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No. I've given you plenty of times, and that's what I think Garcelle did. She gave Sutton plenty of chances to step up and be that friend, and she wasn't.
And then I'm sorry, Sutton, after Garcelle leaves, and remember last season, Sutton with her little Kathy seizure.
Mhm.
Garcelle
And who
left.
went with her? Yeah,
Garcelle.
Garcelle went with her to the hospital.
So this time, Sutton says, "I'm done. I can't do this. It's over. I'm leaving." And while Dorit is sitting there, Dorit was loving it, by the way. Dorit got what
Yeah.
she wanted. It was the mean girl Fox Force. She's like, "What's wrong, Garcelle?" It was that quiet
That's really
taunting.
unprofessional.
Sutton turns to them and goes, "I don't understand it either," and just poses with the group photo.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sutton got what she wanted to. I guess she did, but she couldn't buy their friendship with purses, but she helped them destroy someone so they could all save their jobs.
Mhm. Mhm.
So she could save hers too. She wanted,
Wow.
I think at that moment, there are so many ways to phrase it. Garcelle realized that Sutton was a work friend and not a real friend.
Yeah.
And when it came to it, Sutton turned her into HR so that she could stay on another season.
Mhm. You know, I'm really glad to see, like, so many Garcelle fans, like, come out of the woodwork but I also think there's quite a few that have just been, like, very few and far between, like regular Garcelle. Like, I've always been a Garcelle fan. You and I have
Mhm.
fought over Garcelle several times before.
I know, yeah. I
I'm not
always
saying you
thought she was,
dislike her.
yeah, I always said she was a mid-pack housewife.
And
She
I didn't disagree with that. I just always like her. Like, is she,
mhm.
there's somebody else that I always liked who was a very mid-pack housewife who I'd miss. And so does Jessica, my friend. Oh my God. She should listen to the podcast. Eileen Davidson. I miss Eileen. Eileen was
Oh,
great. She was so fun. No, I loved her
Ei
because she
Eileen
just
and
at
I fought
times,
on Twitter.
of course you did.
Okay, she was one that did not reach my "you know what I like in a housewife."
I do. I do.
And she
I
was
do.
when her remember the Ford Flex scene and her
Yes.
cheap purses. LVP's like,
Yes.
"What's a flex?" Like, I was like,
Yep. Yeah.
but I do like Eileen. I didn't hate her, but she was such a target for, like, the Lee Rads. You get it.
I know. I totally get
We
it. But like, for me, like, Eileen, she filled a space of like a Greek chorus type of,
Mhm.
character in a way of like being able to, if she could have looked directly at the camera, like an Office or, Parks and Rec episode and just been like, what? Like, that would have been amazing. Like, and kind
Yeah.
of same thing with Garcelle sometimes. Sometimes I just was like, oh, she's the voice of reason. Or like
Yeah.
she's the only one like who can get away with like saying how it is, when all these other women are being ridiculous. But anywho, I mean, I'm very, I just, I felt for Garcelle and I also felt with Garcelle. I just was like, when she was done and she was like, I'm off. And when she was back in her dressing room changing at the look on her like assistants faces was almost like we've never seen this before, was like almost
Mhm.
like terror. And she's not loud and throwing things or anything like that. She's just very stern of like, I'm done,
Mhm.
fuck them all, I'm done. And they're just like, oh my gosh, it's like we've never seen Garcelle like this. And I was like, I
Yeah.
don't doubt it. She's
Yeah,
pretty chill.
like
Like,
that producer, Patrick McDonald, came out after and said she was the most delightful of the housewives to film with. We all hoped we'd get assigned to her. She was a pleasure to have on the show.
right? Right?
Mhm.
Which, like, they don't say that about many housewives. That's what always, like, made me crazy about, like, because at New Jersey, they would say that about Teresa, that she was one of the nicest housewives to film with. She'd feed the
Interesting.
entire crew, like, she'd give them, like, so much food, and she was very much a joy. And so that's, like, as much as I dislike Teresa, That's the one thing I'll give Teresa is apparently she's a
Mhm.
wonderful host and she's very good to like film with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just justice for Garcelle, but I think Garcelle is getting her justice because there's so many fans who are like, "Oh, this was wrong," and how dare you treat her? But I just really wish a lot of people had been more vocal about liking Garcelle earlier on. Does that make sense? Because not that I think things might have been different. You just never. This is the overall thing, people. You have to speak up. If you like something, if you love something, whether it's a housewife or democracy, you need to speak up. Pretty much those are the only two things I care about in my life. Housewives and democracy.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I don't feel in that moment, I understood Garcelle and thought it was a
Mhm.
smart housewife move to leave. I didn't feel emotionally I was like, "Listen, it's a game of housewives." She had
Mhm.
5 good seasons. She got iced out by the team you always know will ice someone out. She did well, it helped with her career. I don't think it was like she was victim I but I felt she made the right decision in the end because for me, my thinking is she quit while she was ahead because she saw what was coming. And I didn't
Yes.
want her with a career that is picking up again. I mean, this has been a great platform for her, which is
Yes.
how you should treat it. She did not go down in flames like Rinna, who lost QVC. You don't see her on screen anymore. She's doing like podcasts and weird fashion shows in Germany. Garcelle left with her head held high and her career better than before she started. So she was smart. She was smart. She was like, I'm done with all your crap. I don't need it anymore.
Mhm. Yeah. She's a very smart housewife there.
Yeah.
Well, this I 14 seasons down. 14 seasons completed.
Oh yeah, one last thing. Thinking about next season, 14's down. We have 15 to look forward to. I've been seeing all the things, not rumors. Debbie Matenopoulos herself spoke out and said she's in talks for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If she is, she's not any longer.
Nope.
You do
Don't
not
open your
speak about
mouth.
you do not speak out about casting. We've told
Mm-mm.
you how it works on here. For every one spot, they vet dozens and dozens of women. So you'll hear lots of people say they were in talks or they were approached. The ones who make it, you don't reveal it until either paparazzi catches you filming with the cast member or Bravo makes the announcement. She killed her chance.
She did, and also they put you on social media lockdown. I mean, it also
Hmm.
depends on the show and everything, but I know that, like, I work in reality television
You know,
casting.
yeah.
Literally, like, as soon they're like, "You are not if you're not supposed to tell people." You could say, "I applied. I
Hmm.
applied to be on Big Brother. I applied to be on Survivor. I applied to be on, Housewives." But if you've had an interview or anything like that, you can't say anything. Can't say anything.
Right.
Absolutely not. And there are people, I've seen it happen. They have applied and they've maybe had a phone interview, and then all of a sudden they are blasting all over their social media. "Oh my gosh, I had an interview for this big like Netflix show or Hulu show and da da." And it's like, "Honey, you didn't even have an on-camera interview. You ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere." Like, so if anybody ever is online saying that they were auditioning or they're in the running for a show, no, they're not.
Yeah. The chances gone. I would bet money that we will never see Debbie Madden. I watch. We're gonna replay this clip as she debuts next.
Oh
That we
God.
no, but she really the a serious candidate would not speak out about it, especially this early in the process.
Yeah,
At all,
no.
but especially this early, she killed her chance if there ever was
I would make Alex Baskin buy me some shoes
one.
if he
A
did that.
Kelly.
If he was, yeah, no, that's cheap, man.
Oh, that's
You
right.
know what I want? You know what I want? I just want dinner at someplace like really, really nice. So I can't even think of a place right now. I don't care.
You know,
Anywho,
could you know, it could help us get to dinner with Alex Baskin or Maybe we should sell out to dinner. The only way that could happen, though, is if you guys subscribe and share.
Mhm. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Oh, and by the way, the Valley, we're going to have a Valley episode out tomorrow. And then the Valley will be on, and then we'll be back to our regular Thursday schedule because anyway. So yeah. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're following, make sure you hit that little notifications bell. So when new episodes come up that just automatically populate and you're like, you get like notified, like annoying, but it's amazing because you're like, it's on, they're here.
Oh, how do we send out this season? Oh my God, it's all setting in. Beverly Hills.
You're gonna have to wait a whole nother year.
Should I give him a little Kathy?
Please do.
I hope season 14 brought a little joy to your pathetic little lives.